A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. I'm Ritwika Gupta and today we are spotlighting two sectors powering India's lifestyle and hospitality growth. From textiles to hospitality, we unpack trends and outlook. In the first segment, I speak to Sarah Arora, co-founder Sansaar by décor, and in the second segment, a conversation lined up with Reema Diwan, Vice President Design and Technical Services, Accor India and South Asia. Sarah, welcome to Leaders of Tomorrow. Pleasure chatting with you today.
Thank you.
So, first things first, I want to know what is your inspiration behind Sansaar, because décor is one of India's largest textile, exporters, and it also has a global footprint. So what, inspired you to build on that, strong family-run B2B legacy and, come up with a consumer-facing brand like Sansaar?
So, décor obviously has built a reputation over years, both globally and domestically. I think it's been a journey that's been stimulated by technical innovation, by consistency. We always say, I think operating in the B2B space only, especially for us and not in the D2C space, is like working with one eye closed.
Right.
So with Sansaar, especially with Indian consumption at its peak, with Sansaar, we kind of identified a very clear gap. Especially for the new age customer, we wanted to launch an eco-conscious brand. And there's a common misconception that sustainability equals to a higher price point.
Right.
And I think with décor's manufacturing capabilities and the scale and infrastructure that we had, we wanted to be the leaders who tell the customer and educate the customer that, listen, sustainability does not go with a higher price point.
Fantastic. Like we were just speaking before the interview, our show is watched by a lot of, young entrepreneurs, small business owners. And when we speak of the MSME ecosystem, family-run businesses is a big part of the ecosystem. Right. Tell me, when you decided to sort of start Sansaar, what does it really take to, think like a business and operate like a startup within that legacy business?
That's a good question. I feel like what you just said is the core of what we do at Sansaar, that balance between a legacy business and the agility of a startup.
Yeah.
I think, we're also different generations as founders.
Sure.
I think to begin with, that really helps us. So my co-founder, who is also my sister, is about 8 years older than me. We also have very conflicting personalities that complement each other. There are certainly things that we take from being a legacy business, and there are lots of things we take as a startup, because Sansaar in a way is a startup. I'll just talk about things we take from a legacy business standpoint. Sure. So I think for me personally, I learned the speed of execution and the importance of speed actually very early on into the business. So I think with startups, founders take a little bit more time to dwell on what's the perfect product or the perfect go-to-market strategy.
Sure.
I personally think going to market is important. With a great strategy, there'll always be something better.
Yeah.
At Sansaar, we're always being a better version of ourselves. So I think that's one main thing. Definitely, décor as a legacy business has been built over consistency, discipline, and really strong relationships with our dealers.
Yeah.
So I think that's something Sansaar would love to and is trying to carry forward. Having said that, in terms of a startup, I feel like the speed and agility, right? Legacy businesses, family businesses in general, there's a lot of hierarchy that delays decision making. I actually think that in startups, there's a very flat structure. Everyone is very open. So what we do at Sansaar is we really want to understand from the people who are closest to the customer and closest to the product. So for example, our merchandisers, making our product every day, we want them to be involved in the key decisions. we want to operate like a startup in terms of taking their opinions and also
Sure.
empowering our people. So I think that's it. And also I think one main thing is branding, right? First, traditional branding used to work so well. Your billboards, it still does work very well.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of our budget has shifted to digital as well, just because we're always on our phones. We're always consuming content.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that balance is also very important.
Tell me, what are the biggest structural shifts, or the trends are you seeing in the home decor market? You spoke about sustainability,
Right.
but what other trends are you seeing?
So there are definitely a few prominent trends. Technology to begin with means investing in like constant R&D. Like with Sansaar, we just set up a fully robotic warehouse,
Sure.
which it allows us to deliver to customers very, very quick. Now, today, in a day and age where we're getting things in 10 minutes and 15 minutes,
Yeah.
nobody's going to wait a week or two, right? So that's a main structural shift I see. People today are not very patient, to say the least, because we're getting everything
Yeah.
fast. Another thing is customers really want to know the why behind a product. So they're not just buying a product to buy the product. They really want to know the entire process. Sustainability, we see a huge demand for sustainable products. People are curious. People want to know what sustainability is. Why are you sustainable? Because I feel like a lot of people tend to greenwash also.
Right.
So that's what like we hear from our dealers also. Another thing is we see a lot of growth from tier 1, tier 2, tier 2, tier 3 markets
Okay.
because of the rising disposable income.
Sure.
So yeah, that's another structural shift we see. We see people, especially after COVID, spending much more on their renovations of their homes. Holiday homes are becoming such a big thing due to wellness. So there are a lot of structural shifts I personally see in the market that will only cause a rapid growth in the home decor industry.
And these days, a lot of millennial and Gen Zs are also, taking interest in home decor personally. Are you seeing what is the new age buying behavior like?
So like I said, people want you to be really transparent with them. I feel like people are buying into like a philosophy more than a product. Also, today it's less utility driven and more identity driven, right?
Right.
Like earlier, a lot of bold patterns, like fancy colors used to sell. Right now, everyone is opting for like timeless designs that can withstand every single mood or aesthetic that they want. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. Sarah, Sansaar is one business, that doesn't have any external funding, right? Tell me, just walk us through what are the advantages as well as the challenges, in terms of taking legacy capital versus, VC funding.
Right. Of course, there are pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the biggest pros is that we have full control. So we're not chasing short-term numbers. We're able to chase our long-term vision. We're able to really build on the ethos of our brand without kind of being without having conflicting interests.
Sure.
We're all pretty aligned to scale sustainability. I think that's one of the biggest pros. Of course, there's so much we want to do in such a short period of time. But because it's internal capital on the line, there's definitely, we can't place 10 bets at once, right? We have to go with the high conviction ones. So that's not ideal, but I also feel like overall, because we don't have external funding, our unit economics is just healthier from the beginning.
Right.
So we're sustainability scaling, we're able to deliver the way we want with healthy margins. And I think it's definitely, we've seen the growth year on year. Sansaar has had like a 15% year on year growth, which is commendable because the footprint that Sansaar has established in the first 2 years with about 500 stores pan-India is something that we dreamed of one day, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're definitely playing with a long-term vision here for the long game.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Fantastic. Sarah, you spoke about technology earlier,
Right.
and technology is indeed moving the needle, in every aspect of the business,
Right.
whether it's design or supply chain. But tell me, what is that one technological initiative do you think will have the potential to really disrupt the home decor market?
Good question. I think definitely AI, but AI in terms of predicting the next best color or the next best design, or kind of like giving very, very personalized recommendations to our customer. Like, I would love for you to walk into my store and without having a person, you know exactly what you want.
Right.
And I think AI will soon be able to do that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And well, finally, as we are wrapping up this conversation, tell me what is your long term vision for Sansar and also for India's soft power when it comes to global home aesthetics?
So I definitely think this market is going to grow. In terms of a general long-term vision for the industry, I really hope that India powers into, instead of being like manufactured in India, like designed in India. And for Sansar, we're trying to build a brand with global sensibilities and local relevance, and I hope that we can take it global one day as well.
All the very best to you. Thank you so much for your time, Sarah.
Thank you.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. In this segment, we explore India's hospitality landscape with Reema Diwan, Vice President Design and Technical Services, Accor India and South Asia. Listen in. We're now joined by Reema Diwan of Accor India. Thank you, Reema, for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me here. It's very exciting to share this screen with you. Thank you, Ritika.
Now, Reema, India's hotel industry is projected to cross a 13 to 14 billion revenue mark by 2026. It remains stable this year as well, despite challenges posed by geopolitical tensions in the first quarter of the year. As we move into 2026, what is your overall outlook for India's hotel and travel ecosystem?
See, the overall outlook is very positive. We remain highly optimistic about India's hospitality trajectory. The fundamentals are very strong, and domestic traveler continue to scale. Even the connectivity is improving, demand is outpacing supply, and our partnership, actually, our partnership with Interglobe, reflects our belief in India's long term growth because we all have it all. And while there are still some macro challenges and geographical tensions, but that's there, and even the capex pressure, which is just now, which will exist, but we are just not seeing a short term rebound. We are entering a more stable and long lasting growth. And also, there is a momentum, there is a positive momentum which we need to stay focused and on growing in a very disciplined manner. So, that has been a focus, and that will be the focus going forward in 2026.
So, Reema, a large part of India's hospitality industry is driven by MSMEs, boutique hotels, homestays, and independent F&B operators. What big trends or challenges should small operators prepare for over the next 2 to 3 years?
Small operator will need to adapt to a more professional approach to run their hotels and their businesses, not just by creating the right infrastructure, but also creating the right process in place and creating also the right experience in place. And, they look at the opportunity even to create experience through small scale hotels as well. And in my opinion, I feel that, these boutique hotels have the opportunity to stand out by offering something truly unique, because India is so rich in heritage, and these independent hotels can craft and showcase powerful stories about India, which, of course, an international brands cannot capture well. And of course, we all talk about sustainability. And even for these small scale business, sustainability is no longer something which is good to have. It is must to have. I truly believe in sustainability, and I encourage even small scale hotels to be a little conscious about having sustainable measures in place. And also, in addition to that, even simplifying the booking journey is very essential. So, having accessibility and intuitive bookings, engaging these things would be very critical. And overall, there is a huge space even for small operators, because the state government continue to support these regulated homestays and boutique hotels.
So Accor has a strong franchise and partnership network globally. What key lessons can India's hotel owners draw from this model, when looking to scale or enter new markets?
See, one of the biggest lesson from Accor model is, of course, asset light scalability. Scaling successfully requires a clear brand promise and also clear brand positioning, and having the right partners in place. And for Indian hospitality owners, the key lesson are standardization and collaborating with experts to strengthen their asset, and learning from the best practices globally, and creating that knowledge with the local relevance is something which is very important for scaling. And even we have operational toolkits with the local owners help, we adapt that to different markets, and that help us because we have a consistency in terms of our brand delivery, so we can penetrate very easily in these micro and macro markets. And thirdly, we build shared services from revenue management to procurement to loyalty, digital, to drive scale benefit for our owners.
Reema, technology is transforming everything from bookings to consumer experience. Which specific technologies do you believe will deliver the strongest ROI over the next 2 to 3 years?
See, from where we sit in Accor India, the technology likely to deliver the best ROI, like cloud-based property management system, smart energy, room controls, and enabled HVAC system, water management, conservation, lighting. And through technology, a lot of personalization can also happen, which can deliver a better GE score, which means guest experience index. I mean, AI driven revenue management and dynamic pricing be very essential continuously to optimize our room rate, and especially in a volatile market, which is important.
And well, capex for hotel development has surged 20 to 30% due to construction and compliance costs. How should hotel developers rethink project viability, break even timelines, and asset light models?
See, given the roughly 20-30% increase in construction and compliance cost, it is very important for developer to reevaluate the economics more conservatively. And then key would be to maintain discipline over the project timelines and delivering on schedule. The developer has to think this as a business without compromising on the guest experience. Ultimately, the success will depend on smart capital deployment and effective operations. So that is very important, and that is basically would be the key that reinforce that the asset light model, through the management and franchise agreement, becomes more attractive as they reduce upfront capital exposure.
And apart from construction, input costs are also rising, like manpower, energy, operations. How can small hospitality businesses manage margins effectively?
See, margin management will come from mix of top line discipline and cost innovation. Hospitality business need to map the margin by strengthening efficiencies through technology, AIs, and be very conservative about the resources and being more effective and efficient in delivering the guest promise, and reducing the food wastage, choosing material that lower long-term capex, more conducive materials. There are very good innovative technologies which can help us to to manage the property better, to have low capex burden, and managing the construction cost very smartly and running operations efficiently will be essential. Ultimately, we all should achieve more with less without compromising on the guest experience.
Reema, India is expected to add 60,000 to 70,000 branded hotel rooms by 2027, with major expansion coming from Tier 2 and 3 markets. Which micro markets offer the strongest ROI potential for small hotel developers?
We see particularly strong opportunity emerging in tier 2, tier 3 business markets and in temple tourism, with improved connectivity, with significant development which Indian government is driving and doing in building these destinations like Ayodhya, Varanasi, Tirupati. These markets, the temple tourism, with better connectivity, see year-round demand. Through hospitality tapping into this market, it's basically a destination which is being unlocked. Secondly, the wellness, Ayurveda, and nature-led travel also growing rapidly, and also like the hills and the coastal regions offer right very strong price power, while urban destinations are evolving into attractive weekends getaway for experiential travels. And also the domestic traveler become more experience driven now, and Indian hospitality sector is actually shaping India into a true powerhouse, offering a diverse demand segment that few global markets can match.
Finally, I also want to touch on the talent gap in hospitality. The talent crunch is something we keep hearing about in hospitality. Reema, what in your view needs to change to build a stronger workforce and better service quality?
The stronger workforce is very important. Hospitality training institutes should have a proper career pathway for these artists, for these workforce, from the starting point to the supervisory role to the leadership role eventually. And this requires much deeper collaboration between the industry and the academy. At the same time, work condition must also improve flexibility of work and life balance, and there should be like proper schedule, a predictable schedule in place, and competitive compensation, and a culture of respect, which is of course non-negotiable. If we all can bring this all together, I think we would be able to retain the talent. And finally, creating a local talent pipeline, and especially in tier 2 and tier 3 market, tier 4 market, which can help us reduce attritions and ensuring long-term stability, and especially with the help of the local tourism bodies and local institute, which will play essential role in making this possible.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Reema. Pleasure chatting with you. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 13. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.